Business here every day from Monday to Friday from 7 till 9:55 a.m. And of course, what a good way to have our beautiful Thursday. It is actually just the 30th of November. I just left with one day. We just left with today and we start the new month, the last month of the year. How excited are you? I am excited. Why? Because we're wrapping up the year. But other things, yeah, when we tick the boxes, I don't think I've done so far so good. Hoping that I really don't know why Godwin is laughing about that, but what's the truth really? Anyway, good morning, Godwin.
Good morning, Mercy. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm laughing because you're taking stock of your year and you're thinking, what have I achieved this year?
Oh, yeah.
And I bet you a lot of people are feeling that same way. People are thinking about what have I achieved this year. Of course, the New Year's resolutions are starting to kick in. For what's happening for 2024, we're about to get into the new year. Otherwise, good morning, Mercy. Good morning, Smart Means Business viewers. All of you that are watching in from all over the world, from Zimbabwe, Botswana. We see the messages. All of you that follow us on our YouTube page, DSTV, keep the conversations going. We're having really interesting conversations that we have today, especially regarding the hotel industry and the overview of the hotel industry in Uganda, the challenges, the progresses that we've made, and we want to be able to see how that looks like, especially coming into the festive season where everyone is probably booking out all the Junja hotels, the hotels in Kampala, and it's going to be an interesting conversation, yes.
Well, of course, talking about the hotel industry, I believe, we talked about it last week and we're still talking about it on how we've progressed. You know, we came from these small, what they call restaurants.
Right.
There was a difference between restaurants and hotels.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely we are now, we have 4-star hotels.
Right.
Yeah. The big known hotels, at least where we can actually be proud and say we can actually host some people.
Right. We've been talking about how the hotel industry, we talked about it this week, how it's now merging with the technology and technology advancement so quickly, right? So now we want to see what's the state of the hotel industry and what's happening. And we can see, of course, with a lot of the key trends in the Ugandan hotel industry, some of the key trends include increased investment in hotel infrastructure, right? So we're seeing a lot more hotels. We just have, what's the new hotel that was built here? What's this one? Sheraton, right? 4 Points by Sheraton was just built. So we're seeing it has impeccable infrastructure, impeccable amenities. So there's definitely an increased investment in the infrastructure of the hotel industry in Uganda, right? This has been a significant increase in investment in hotel infrastructure in the recent years, with new hotels being built and existing ones being upgraded. So we're having a lot of the existing ones like the Sheraton. Of course, we have Serena Hotel. All of them are having these upgrades to be able to meet the international standards. Because, Mercy, I can imagine right now in the world, it's very important to have a 5-star rating.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can just having a 3-star, 2-star rating, 1-star rating does not help you on the international platform. I don't know, what do you think about that?
Of course, when you give an example of a place like Dubai, do you know the number of hotels that are in Dubai? My goodness, people will kill to go to. I'm very sure for the festive, people are already booked.
Already, and I'm sure right now it's even expensive to book.
It's expensive.
People start booking like 3 months prior. Isn't it, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the reason why most people aren't coming, I wanted to ask you this question. Why do you think a lot of Ugandans now are not really occupying these hotels like they should, right? Many of us are planning, let's go to Dubai, let's go to Mauritius, to even cheaper hotels in Zanzibar, by the waters in the ocean, right? They're actually much cheaper rates and better accommodation. So I don't know, why do you think we are abandoning sort of the hotel industry here and just rushing off to Dubai? And yet we have hotels here. What do you think could be the issue?
Well, of course, first of all, it has to be mindset. This whole mindset of maybe our hotels are not probably the best. And of course, with the different hygiene and sanitation of some hotels, some people are skeptical about the different hygiene. You get into a room and it's not as you expect it to be,
right.
And maybe the hospitality, the customer care, how
That's
people,
a big one.
Yes, how people receive you, how they treat you. I mean, I can't pay an amount and I'm not getting breakfast off it. Really?
That's an interesting thing you talked about.
Or lunch.
About how some of this, they give you really high rates and some things are not included, right? You have to go get your lunch.
It's like you say for Uganda, you pay for a night If it's a night, it's a night.
They don't try to give you excellent rates to keep you coming back. Whereas a smart hotel owner would say, listen, let's give these guys a hotel, a Christmas rate, a Christmas festival rate, where they'll still be able to come back, and breakfast is included. But you talked about something else, which is the hospitality, but also the service. We are struggling in Uganda with the service industry. In the service industry here, you find that a lot of the people at reception are rude, or you try to call, you call a million times to get your order up and no one is responsive. We're not having an apt response team when it comes to the customer care industry here, and that's affecting us, because I know you've seen that, right? When you go to places like Kenya, they're known for their hospitality industry. They invest a lot of money in making sure the hotel and hotel management is a force that is to be reckoned with, right? But here in Uganda, you find a lot of us are laissez-faire. You find someone at the counter saying, what? What did you want? It's fully booked. Without giving you any options of like, oh, it's fully booked, but I can recommend a partnership hotel. Or there's another hotel along Ginger in the same area that is much better rates. It has good service and good breakfast. They won't even bother recommending. They'll be like, we are booked, find someone else. And that's bad, because you won't even want to come back there. I don't know, what do you think?
So this is a caution to whoever is responsible for sitting on the front desk. You're making people uncomfortable, actually. Trust me, I wouldn't want to reach there and I'm so happy. You know when you come when you're so happy and someone gives you a face and you're like, okay, I think I did the wrong. So please, you are the face of the whole entire place.
You end up panicking. I mean, I know this because I've been to other hotels outside of this place, but even as you've entered the parking lot, you just get to into the entrance. There's people who are smiling, people who are like, oh, where are you going? Not even the person that's supposed to take you.
I'm telling you.
Even the concierge service. But here, the way to get to the reception, then they'll smile, saying, hello, morning.
You first get lost.
You first get lost, you're knocking and say, hey, do you need anything? You're right.
That's scary. We look at you, get lost, and not even until you have to.
Can you imagine? And the concierge is there looking at you saying, it's not my problem, I'm not paid enough for this. But these people don't understand. It's a hotel industry, you have to think of the hotel like it's yours. Because if you want more people to come to the hotel so that they can bring more money, so that they can still pay your salaries, you have to take on ownership. We don't have ownership. And that's a big problem, right? We're thinking, it's not my problem, it's not my hotel, why should I worry? There's a banana peeling there, I'm not going to inform the janitor. Something spilled, I will wait. You find someone has spilled, and then someone has to call someone at the concierge service to basically come and clean up a spill. That is a problem, right? So I think we're also struggling there. Then of course there's a growing demand for luxury accommodation. In Uganda, we have a very few select hotels that we can say are luxury. Because Mercy, I know you'd want, let's say you're being proposed to God willing in the future, right? You'd want to go to a place that is fancy, that is luxury. You'd want your potential husband to pick out a place that is, because the pictures are going to be taken. You want this is going to be forever, right? You don't want them to take you to like a place and it's not as luxury, right? And
they can barely even do some decoration or sprinkle pictures all over.
And luxury doesn't always mean expensive. It just has to look fancy, nice, a place that you can say, wow, we went there. Do we have enough of those luxury places in Uganda? What do you think?
I don't think, because I've seen most of people having to propose in Zanzibar or Mombasa. You travel just for a ring.
Right.
Really? Do we have to reach that far? But then you see, actually, I think it's about how you beautify your place at the end of the day. It shouldn't be plain, just, no. Do something, put some lights there in the evening, there's lights, so you can put flowers, decoration also matters. The way you beautify
gardening, right?
The gardening,
I think most of the men, we lack that extra touch, right? When we're building these hotels, let's be fair. That extra feminine touch that you need to make a space more inviting. You go into these hotels, and they look like it's a construction, like it's just someone just built like like a house. It's very big. One thing about Ugandans is we think if it's big, it's better. Not always. Some places might be much smaller, but they seem more pristine, have that extra luxury feel. There's a nice view, But Uganda, as long as there's like a good view and the place looks big, you enter the bathrooms are either really small, the beds are off. And it's not as inviting when you enter, right? I don't know why. Do you think it's because we're missing that feminine, or we're missing that extra design touch? We don't have enough good designers that bring something out. By the way, actually, I
think we should make use of interior designers and maybe exterior designers.
Right.
Yeah, much as they come in a bit expensive, but then it's for your own good. I've seen people who do interior designing and they can really make your place look so colorful.
That is a good point you said, Mercy. Sometimes you don't need to take on the full burden. The person that's building the house, the owner is like, I am going to oversee interior because I know how interior works. I'm going to oversee my exterior because I understand my vision. Sometimes it's important as a sponsor to take a step back and say, listen, am I the most Am I the most skilled person to be able to design my own hotel, even if I have a vision for it? That's when you bring in, and that's why interior designers exist. That's why there's exterior designers. That's why landscapers exist as well. But you know, some people want to be in charge of every nook and cranny of the business. And before you know it, they built a vision that doesn't translate well to the audience.
I know, by the way, I know of a person who has it's a home, but then she holds events. It's there in Bugolobi. She holds events in her place. She has a lot of, she has the whole place full of art. Like, it's so artistic. She has flowers, and people book her home.
Wow.
Because it's beautiful.
That's a very, it was just about to be my next point. That's a very good point about people are now moving away from the hotels and thinking, listen, let me get somewhere, get someone's home. But that's another point that's actually here, competition from informal accommodation. So you find someone has a beautiful home, someone says, you know what, let me decorate your place, I'll pay you for your garden. We'll come and propose to my wife there, my fiance, right? Or people even booking out Airbnbs in Ginger. They're not booking out hotels anymore. The hotel industry is struggling because people are thinking, why should I struggle going to a hotel? I can't sing, I can't dance with my friends, it's too loud, there's noise, whatever, there's restrictions. How about I book out my big mansion in Ginger, everyone pays $100 instead of paying $200 a person at a hotel, you pay $100. At an Airbnb, you have 5 people and you get the best experience. So that's a really good point, is there's a rise in informal accommodation, right? So people are tired of going to hotels where they're not treated well, there's no breakfast included, but I'm only booking a night hotel with one room like this, and the hotel isn't up to snuff. So I might as well book out a mansion that even looks better than that car room that I was booking out. And that's going to be a failing on the hotel industry unless we step up incredibly.
Yeah, so that is what we have. We actually have to caution everyone, whoever is planning to have a hotel or is planning to invest in a hotel, please. Those are one of the key areas to look out. Yeah, what is it? Hospitality. Service, and of course, make it a home. Make it so beautiful for people to come and be like, oh, I want to go and smell the flowers. I want to go and take a picture on the. There is no gazebo. You know, find some place. It's so plain. It's so.
And what makes it unique? Because there's incredible competition from people like Kenya.
And the very funny thing, actually, I have a problem with is that they have limited services. You find one. The person who's a receptionist is the one in the kitchen.
She's the one handling the phones. So you find that's a problem, and you find the reason why people are leaving the hotel industry here, and we don't have enough domestic people going into the hotels. They're flying to Kenya. They're going next door. They're taking they'd rather take a bus, that long 4-hour bus or whatever it is, to go all the way to Kenya. These people are competing heavily because they're putting money into the hotel industry. The same way Dubai put money into its industry. We need to do the same here. We need to not just throw money and say, build me a big building. What about the rooms in that building? The exterior, the design, the amenities, the service. You need to train our workers. As Some Cafe Javas, I know, trains their waitresses and waiters in Kenya, and that's why they're really good.
Because
service.
if we're attracting tourists from other countries, trust me, they have different preferences. They have different preferences. People like in the US, in Europe, they want to come and look at the flowers, and there are small things that excite these people.
That they're also used to that side, that they want to be in another country and experience that kind of level of service. So when they come and say, your service isn't good, they're like, why should I even go back to Africa? Let me just look for a really nice space in my own country. So we need to actively be able to train our staff members, owners, hotel owners. This is to you guys. Please train your staff members in better hospitality, and please step up the amenities. Give us better deals and advertise better. Give us good coupons for this holiday season.
By the way, just before we go to the press review, if you've taken keen notice of maybe Instagram and maybe TikTok, you realize, how, they always take videos of how I got to the place.
Versus how I came out.
And the person comes on a border and the roads are so bumpy. So infrastructure is really key.
It is.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what it means reaching to your destination when you're tired, exhausted?
I've seen those videos. Someone is in a taxi like this, they're shaking, the car is bouncing over, and then they're in a luxury hotel afterwards. But we need to actually improve our infrastructure. As a country, that's for the government appeal. I see they're trying to fix the roads, especially in this rainy season. And we're going to talk about that in Caribbean, East Africa, where we discuss the monsoon winds, the heavy rains, and we need to be able to step up the infrastructure so we have more people coming in, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that was our first take on that. We're going to continue this conversation, of course, on the overview of the hotel industry. But now we're going to take a short break and come back for the press review.
Well, of course, starting off and of course talking about the hotel industry here. Homes, hotels choke on raising charcoal prices. And of course, a presidential order banning charcoal production bites families and food vendors as prices of cooking or fuel rises sharply across the country. This has forced homes to regulate regulate cooking while vendors have hiked food prices.
But you know, listen, I'm not too mad at this, especially since we're talking about climate change. Renewable sources of energy. Ugandans, we just have to adapt. I know it's a sad state of affairs, and people are reliant on charcoal because it's much cheaper. That is what
I was we were talking about yesterday with Andrew, and I was like, you know, if they actually stopped the ban of charcoal, because Uganda actually exports charcoal to Rwanda, and of course Rwanda in the capital they use gas.
Right. And even in our country, people still sell charcoal. People are still selling.
Yes, but then, of course the outskirts of Rwanda they do buy charcoal. Right. So if at all Uganda bans charcoal, trust me, people are going to find means of improvising and use renewable sources of energy.
It's one of those things that it's one of those things.
Briquettes.
Briquettes last longer. People look at it because they're expensive, but they last longer. Remember that charcoal that you have after you've boiled your water, after you've cooked your food, the charcoal is still burning. What do you put on that charcoal stove? You have to think about our energy, guys. It's time we start thinking about our planet. It's going to help. In the next 3 years, 5 years, people are going to be thankful. That's if the ban is for real, because you know sometimes you can ban things here and then they continue on.
So Munange, food prices, don't be shocked when you get into a place and the food that was at 5,000 is at 8,000. That is all due to the ban that was imposed on charcoal.
And whatever. So I think that's in the Daily Monitor and you can catch that story more.
Actually, people did. Anyway, I think maybe there could be other alternatives. Yeah, but I feel if at all, maybe we could give them, we shall talk about this.
No, I mean, there's things like briquettes. There's so many options that we'll discuss that more. But now in the new vision, for the fund, for exporters, we talked about this. She's 1.8 trillion earmarked for businesses. So we're saying fund for exporters has increased. So we see here in the new vision front page, Museveni being welcomed by a bunch of investors at the conference at Kololo that happened at the grounds yesterday. So there's Minister Judith Nabakoba, Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs as well. So we're going to get into more of that story in the new vision.
Well, of course, here Nabanja and to send iron sheets to Karamoja. I don't know why this iron sheet thing, whenever I see iron sheets, and of course I'm sending the iron sheets back to Karamoja.
Wow, that's interesting, eh?
Yes. Well, of course, here, this is the Sarah of our generation. Our era, a 70-year-old gives birth to twins. That's a Sarah. You know the Sarah of those days?
Yes, I was just reading that in the Bible or something in the morning, right? That's interesting. And also seeing here, planning body advisors on Balalo issue. So, of course, the contentious matter of the Balalo in northern Uganda has prompted the National Planning Authority to advise that the president's directive on their eviction be implemented, which is interesting. You can find more of that story in the new vision, national news.
Of course, government bans public ambulances from transporting corpses. Okay, so there's no more transporting corpses. So I'm seeing the cost of a sack of charcoal is between 88,000 to 160,000. Wow.
That sack is a lot.
And you see, and cooking gas, 13 kilograms, a cylinder is at 100,000.
And imagine, because guess what, with gas you can actually switch it off, guys. With charcoal it's hard to switch off. It doesn't have a switch or anything. That's how you have to think about it. We have to move forward, people.
No, it's just that, you know, people in hotels, they cook big amounts. They have food
that's why we have to think about renewal options like briquettes do exist, guys. So we also, and briquettes cook for longer, buy them burn for longer. I've used them before, very good. So we also have fund for exporters has increased. This is a very good news for foreign and domestic investment. We're seeing here that according to President Museveni, Uganda has provided the best investment atmosphere for both local and foreign investment.
I think yesterday there was a conference, investors conference yesterday.
That happened at Kololo as well, Kololo grounds. So you see, that's a very important conversation for investment. So of course, yesterday the investment conversation was had.
But I saw people actually were coming out, oh, I didn't, I'm doing juice, or I'm doing, you know, people were coming up.
And that's going to bolster, it's going to bolster the investment capital and definitely going to bolster the economy in the right way.
And of course, someone here says hope the iron sheets won't develop legs this time as they're being flagged off to Karamoja. I hope every iron sheet is going to be accountable for.
We hope so, but you know how it is with there's always someone being corrupt in some area.
No. After the exposure, trust me, they're going to reach there.
They just become more careful. So we see here, First Lady elevates family values at Jesus film launch. So we see here, the First Lady also encouraged the leaders to transform the next generation with biblical truth. This was a conversation that she had, so definitely as the First Lady yesterday, so was our president, which is very good. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has advised parents and guardians to restore the family as a primary institution for nurturing and shaping children. Oh,
and someone says SFC is the solution. Of course, you know, they actually say the SFC is going to be responsible for working on the different road constructions along, you know, panel that are the
and I'm seeing a story about the 70-year-old lady that gave birth. And she gave birth through vitro fertility treatment. I think that's quite expensive. Of course, at her age, I'm sure she can afford that. But then also, why would she need twins at 70?
Because, I mean, she, you know, you would want to die a parent.
I guess she's still young and supple. Maybe she'll you know? So
I think maybe she could be, because if she will reach 100, the kids will be 30. Not bad.
That would be good.
Not bad. Well, of course, right about now, we're into the traffic updates. And of course, Andrew Barije is right there. He's going to be letting us know what is happening along where he is. Of course, how traffic is going. Good morning, Andrew. How is the situation there? How is traffic? And of course, how are the people coping up with the situation there?
Here, the access road roundabout, quite numerous construction that is happening right here. Now let's get straight and get to observe the traffic situation. At first I actually thought that probably due to the numerous constructions that are happening, there could be some little bit of a congestion, but surprisingly it's quite very friendly today, and there is quite a number of reasons why it's really that way. Remember, the access road roundabout links about a number of routes. We have the 6th Street, the 7th Street, the 8th Street. Of course, those people that are coming in from Chibuli route still at the same time. But today, there is a smooth flow of the vehicles that is happening in here. Reason being is that part of the Mukwano area, the road that connects all the way to Mukwano was actually blocked. Due to that factor, so most of the vehicles that are coming in from areas like Zambia, from Kabalagala, and so many more, some of them actually rotate via Namuwongo, and that explains why we see the situation being that way. 8th Street, that is towards the industrial area, is quite a little bit still under, I mean, it's under maintenance here as I speak right about now. And yeah, that explains why there are not so many vehicles that we see that are coming in from those particular areas. But that's how it is standing like as of now. It's very smooth, but of course you will have to make sure that you will have to rotate via Namuwongo, and also especially for the people that are coming in from Zambia. You can see majority of the people are actually deciding to move around the street. It's normally not as usual as we see it right about now, but of course due to the blockage of some routes, and some people really decide to wait to just move around, because some are coming in from Namuwongo, some are coming in from Chibuli, some of them are actually coming in from areas like Kabalagala, so they decide to trek all the way to the city center. So that is the situation like as we can observe it right here, the access road roundabout. It's quite very smooth, so if you're connecting in from any of the areas and you're likely to link up here, well, just be ready to trek all the way to Namuwongo. But it's quite smooth and the flow is okay according to what I'm observing. Quite a number of people, you know, so many pedestrians, border still coming in here, and the good news is that there is traffic officers that are controlling the traffic situation to make sure that it doesn't get out of control. So that's why it explains that. Of course, these constructions are largely inspired by the NAM conference that is going to be held here in Uganda. That is come next year. That's why you can see there is quite a huge rush in here. Well, that is the traffic updates for this particular hour. I'm Andrew Barije, and of course the situation is quite smooth right here at the access road roundabout, as you can actually observe it.
Is taking place right there, and you can see some of the area has been worked on, and probably we shall see how it's gonna go.
I pray that this construction is going to last long this time around.
It's not going to last, or maybe the material and quality is going to.
No, yes, I mean like the quality of the materials. I hope they're actually building long and sustainable roads, because we're tired of fixing the roads every 6 months. Guys, because actually with these rains, we need better roads. So, so that's what brings.
Yesterday I was actually going to Golobi, and of course I passed through the access road, and there was a bump. Oh God. At some point, I thought I was going to fall off.
No, listen, you bump into something, it's like a whole swimming pool.
It's like a hole, like a deep one.
Proper ditch, and it's very dangerous. God. So I pray.
So I can imagine if it's raining and the water is flooded.
Right now they're fixing where we come from that cover road, because my goodness, it's bad.
I do not know. Every time I walk around those roads, I'm more disappointed than ever before. Well, let's go in for a short commercial break. Coming up is East African International Business News. Do stick around.